Hello everyone, my name is Dylan Lekia. I decided to create this video tutorial especially for my grade 9 student sitting for the national exams of design and technology. So this video is based on the second chapter, Pictorial Projection. You will learn about the new drawing equipments. You will learn how to manipulate the drawing equipments, and also you will be introduced to oblique projection. First of all, let us start with some drawing equipment. So we need pencil or lead pencils. It depends with which you're used to. And by the way, you need two different tones, that is 2H and 2B. Next, you have the T-square. I personally prefer to use the plastic one instead of the metal one. It's more convenient. Next, set square 60 degrees, set square 45 degrees, protractor. Now, sometimes you already have the protractor integrated in the set square of 45 degrees. So you must check it. And then we need a circle template. This is optional. In fact, we will use the circle template when we have very tiny circles to draw. Eraser, sharpener, colored pencils, because we have some rendering to realize, a pair of compass, a drawing board, that's very important. Now for the drawing board, you can buy it at bookshops, or you can make your own drawing board at home, and the size must be around 40 centimeter by 60 centimeter. Of course, you need also A3 pages and an A3 file to store them, and finally a drafting tape. Let us manipulate now our new equipment. So you have the drawing board. First of all, you must check that all edges, especially the left edge, is straight and smooth in such a way that our T-square can be slided on this edge without any difficulty. Now on the board, we will have to stick the A3 paper using the drafting tape. The distance between the bottom of the board and the paper must be around 7 centimeters. You must stick the paper in such a way that the paper is parallel to the T-square and parallel, of course, to the bottom edge of the board. By the way, the paper must be stuck in such a way that it does not move when manipulating the T-square. And concerning our set square, we will use it by sliding it on the T-square so that it remains perpendicular on the T-square. So, we will use the T-square in general to draw horizontal line, and the set square 60 degrees and 45 degrees, we'll use them to draw vertical lines. So now let's see how things work in real. I will show you how to fix an A3 paper on my design board. So, first of all, I use my T-square So here's my T-square. I place my T-square on the board and place the A3 paper over it, checking that the T-square is horizontal. Without moving the A3 paper, I now use the tape to fix the A3 paper without moving it to the board. So here you are. Now when you finish, you check it again that the A3 paper is parallel to the T-square. Before starting drawing, we must know different line types. So the different types of lines, we use it in technical drawing. They're very important for designers, industrial engineers, architects, and other technical people. So the thickest line is the outlines. We use them for visible outlines or edges. Next we have construction lines. It is thin and we use it for construction purposes or crates. Also we have the center lines representing center line of circles, semicircles or arcs. And finally we have the hidden lines. It is used to represent hidden details. So of course you have the different tone and pencil grades for these types of lines. For outlines you can use HB, B, or sometimes or even 2B, 2H for the construction lines, H for the center lines and the hidden lines. Now sometimes you have only like one pencil to draw, so you must apply different pressure on the pencil to have the different tone. You will see in some of my video I will use only one pencil, but I apply different pressure to my pencil just to have different tones. I guess now you know how to use the T-square and the set-square correctly. So we move to oblique projection. If you remember in grade 7 and 8, we use the square grids to draw oblique, but this year it will be different. We will use a plain A3 paper, so the challenge is that you will have to create your guidelines using the T-square and the set-square. To draw oblique blocks, you need to know that the depth is inclined at 45 degrees. Eventually, we will use the set square of 45 degrees for oblique and not the set square of 60 degrees. That's a common mistake between beginners. So I repeat, we will use the 45 degrees set square. In the oblique exercise of grade 7 and 8, you were given the depth. But now in grade 9, you will be given the orthographic views. And you will have to search for the depth. The depth is generally seen in the top view. Let us take an example. So this is the orthographic views. You have the front view and the top view. You must now imagine how the cuboid will be in oblique projection. Step 1. You draw the front view and then you need to search for the depth. For this question, you can see the depth in the top view, that is 30 millimeter. Now the most common question is that whether to draw it on the right or left hand side. For grade 9, it can be drawn on any two sides unless it is precise in the question. So here you see our orthographic views. We use it to draw an oblique projection. So let's try something very quickly just to show you how it works in real. So we'll draw a rectangle of 40 millimeter by 90 millimeter. I draw the straight line first and then I measure 90, the base of 90 millimeter. The height, I take it as 40 millimeter. So I measure number 1 to 5 on both sides with the sets square, and then I join the end of the line to complete the rectangle. You see? So now remember that the depth is 45 degrees. So I use the set square of 45 degrees itself. The depth, let's take it as 70 millimeter. So I draw a fade line first and then I measure from 1 to 8 on the fade lines. I use my set square to draw vertical lines. Where it will meet the other fade lines, I will get again the other depth lines, so no need to measure again 70 millimeter. If you use your instrument correctly, every depth lines will be 70 millimeter. So here you can see. To move quicker, you must learn to use the fade lines. So now let's do another exercise. It's page 47, example 1. So you have the front view and the top view. So we start to draw the grade first. I know in lower grades you learn the term grades, and many of you were not using grades because you find it maybe useless or it's not necessary to do your drawing. But in grade 9 you will discover the importance of grade. So the grade, the dimension of the grade will be the overall height, the overall length, and the overall depth. So use your set square to draw the depth. The overall height will be 60 millimeter, overall width will be 120 millimeter, and the overall depth will be 50 millimeter. Now some dimension you must calculate it yourself because you will not be given all dimensions in the exercises. So here is the crate. Now you start to draw the front view first. So I construct my guidelines first. Of course, I use fade lines. So you can check that the front view at the base there are many intervals, 20 millimeter, 40 millimeter, and 40 millimeter. So you must mark out these intervals first. Then you can draw the center line before drawing the small circle. Meanwhile, while doing your work, you must check that your T-square is perfectly placed on the design board. So you can see the front view. Now for the small circle, I will not use my compass. You may use the compass, but it's more professional to use here the circle template. On the circle template, you must search for the circle with diameter 20. You will notice that every circle has its diameter printed on the right hand side of it. You place it correctly on the center line, and then it will be much easier to use the circle template. So here is the I draw the circle. Then for the bigger one, I use my compass. Yeah, now you must check whether the compass is loose. So you must place the compass pointer well, and you draw the semicircle of radius 20 millimeter. Now don't confuse between radius and diameter. Note that diameter is twice the radius. So sometimes you will be given the radius, and sometimes you will be given the diameter. And you must also notice the symbol of diameter and the symbol for radius. Then you can apply the depth on each corner. Now, if you know the depth will be visible, you can apply thick line directly. Or if you're not sure of yourself, you just apply fade line everywhere. Then when you finish, you apply the thick line where everything will be visible. So for the circle, it will be repeated backwards. Now you must use the center line and you move it with a depth of 50 millimeter. The depth is everywhere 50 millimeter. So for the circle, also for the displacement of the circle, it will be also 50 millimeter. So you move the center line with a depth of 50 millimeter. You draw another circle with fade lines now, because you don't know where it will be start and finish. And then you do a tangent between the two bigger circles. Now you know where the circles start and finish. While you're working, make sure that the paper does not move. You can label the first center line O and the second center line O1. Now you check that the small circle is not visible. Sometimes it will be visible. Now for this exercise, it is not visible. So here you can see everything clear. You must check that lines, if lines is overlapping or anything missing. Good. So I think we have completed with this exercise. So now we come to the end of this video tutorial. I hope that you have learned many things from this. You have learned how to manipulate your new instrument, and you have understand the oblique projection. My next video will be based on isometric projection. If you still have some doubts or you need clarification, you can just comment below. Thank you all for watching my video.